Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all you Cancerians out there. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Cancer. This is a reading for you for 2020 and I'm going to apologise straight away for not having got this done before now. We're now near the end of January, but it is for the whole year, so it's not just this month. I've laid the reading out, as I've laid out all my 2020 readings so far, in a clock, in a circle, and each number represents a month, and each month has got two cards on it from two separate decks of cards, so that it can have more than one of the same energy if that's what needs to come out at all in your reading, Cancer. So I'd just like to say thank you for anybody who has subscribed to my channel so far. I normally say this at the end, but I'm trying to get it in earlier so that I don't forget. Also, being a reading for Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Cancer, if you don't know where those placements are in your chart, I will be putting a link in the video description down below, and you can go and check out your own astrology. I may also be using some astrology during your reading, Cancer, depending on whether or not I think it's relevant. And with that being said, I will proceed with your reading. Like I said, there are two cards on each month, and in the heart of the reading you also have two separate cards as well for the overall energies of the year. So I'm going to start. I also have a different setup here as well, so I'm kind of experimenting at the moment, so bear with me and we'll see how it goes. But this is the card that came out for you first, Cancerians, and this is the Two of Pentacles, which says to me that overall this energy for 2020 is about you feeling as though you're kind of starting out again, as though you're starting back at the table. It's Pentacles, it's to do with stability, it's to do with grounding, earth energy. It's about bringing something into the physical realm, making something successful, creating something successful. It could be to do with you starting your own business, Cancer. It could be to do with you working on a relationship, because relationships also need to be worked on in the physical realm. Relationships are not just all about the emotional realm, so there is elements of having to kind of build on something. That's what this card is saying to me. It's all about building on something. It's a very fertile card as well. I love the colours in this card. The green is very lush. It's very kind of says to me that there's, you know, there's great potential here. There's great potential for success and achievement and succeeding in whatever it is that you set your mind to this year, Cancer. But it's come out with the Four of Earth, or the Four of Coins as it's known in ordinary tarot decks, or most tarot decks should I say. And the Four of Earth usually represents a situation of somebody holding on to something very tightly and not wanting to let it go, not wanting to move on, not wanting to let something go. So again, this could be to do with a business, it could be to do with a relationship. And the reason I say that, for me, this card is the Moth to the Flame card, because right here in the center of this card you have her holding this moth, or it's kind of moth is in her hands. It's just kind of above her hands. Her hands are held out, and it says to me, like a moth to a flame, that there's somebody, or there's a situation, Cancer, where you feel that you are a moth to a flame. It's so magnetic, it's so attractive, it's so magnetic. It's kind of, it just calls you, and it's upside down as well. So this kind of says to me that this is long lasting as well. This is something that's been going on for a while, that you're having to cope with, you're having to deal with it because it's in reverse. You're not finding it easy. You're not finding it easy to let it go because you are that moth at the centre there, Cancer. And the figure here, I feel, is somebody who this is who you are attracted to. And they are like, to you, they're like a light in the dark. To you, they're somebody who you kind of see so much in this person. And they have these kind of feelers here as well, which for me kind of says that they're very intuitive, they're very instinctive, they're very kind of connected to their higher self, shall we say. That they see things in a different way. And this could also be one of the reasons that this is upside down and why you're finding it so difficult to let it go. But also because of the attraction, you are also interested in this person for this reason. They are different. They're unique to you, Cancer. There's somebody who you kind of have this connection with as well. I feel that this is also a connection, but it's a connection that you're not quite sure about. You're not quite sure how to deal with it. You're not quite sure whether you want it, because it is overwhelming and very powerful. So these are the two energies for your overall 2020 reading, and these may come up again during the reading. I may refer back to these energies because you've started January off, Cancer, with this Emperor card, which is saying to me that you're very strong in yourself. It's something you've got stronger. There's something here that is making you more aware of your own inner divinity as well, your connection, which is what I'm kind of talking about here with this card, this inner divinity. And you're sitting in a very powerful place. You have the world in your hand. You have the eagle here who can soar above things and see things from a different perspective. Can help you to see the bigger picture. And the Emperor to me is kind of very concrete as well. It's very kind of bringing things into the reality. I think it's a very kind of very, how can I put it? It's a very strong, it is a very masculine energy. Again, that doesn't have to be just for men. This can also be very strong masculine energy within the female as well, Cancer. But it is somebody who's sitting very much in their power, shall we say. Somebody who's found their power again. And it's come out with the Two of Water or the Two of Cups. So this is about somebody who you are or have been in a relationship with, or somebody who you have become attracted to, and you are feeling quite kind of strong about this connection, even though we have this card here overall for your energies. But like I was saying, this is something very magnetic. It's not something that you can just walk away from. Even though you may have tried, this is a very powerful connection of understanding each other through each other. And it may bring out the very kind of protective fatherly energy in you as well, because the Emperor can represent the father, and it is also January, and the Emperor represents Capricorn energy, and we have just had the conjunction with Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn in January, on January the 12th. As well as you, Cancer, having a lunar eclipse on the 10th as well, which probably brought up a lot of kind of emotional memories, maybe issues that you're having to deal with. But I do get the sense that you are very protective about this, and that you don't want anybody else to have this. You're very, protective, very fatherly towards it, in the sense of like you want to take care of this person, whoever this is for you. Also, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction for you, Cancer, has taken place in your 7th house of relationships as well. So this could also have something to do with this, because Cancers have not had an easy time in relationships for the last 2 years, if not more. But it's kind of culminated over the last 2 years. Things have been really kind of building up to a point. But I do get the feeling that this is about somebody who you very strongly connect with, like a soulmate. So those are your energies for January. And in February, we have the Ace of Swords. Now this is a new energy, but again it's in reverse. I say again it's in reverse. It is in reverse. It's a new energy because it's an ace, so it kind of implies a new beginning. Because it's in reverse, I'd say that it's an energy that's kind of been hanging around for a while as well, and maybe as of yet, or it's in February, but in February you're going to find a time where you're going to have to kind of channel this energy, which is about truth. It is about kind of seeing things clearly, but it's in reverse. So even then in February, you're still going to be kind of maybe not ready. Maybe not ready. This is very much to do with the intellect and the logical thinking mind of having to work through things, and the way that you work through things. So you may be finding it difficult to actually am I getting here? You may be finding it difficult to have clarity on a situation. And it's come out with the Temptation card, which is reversed. And so I'm going to say in February there is going to be this temptation that is going to be put in front of you. Or there is this temptation that is already there. Because this is a Major Arcana card and it's in reverse. So this could be something that has been around for a while, but it's kind of going to reach a head in February. In February you're going to kind of feel as though you need to get a grip of it somehow, and not allow it to keep repeating, cutting through things. But I think that's the difficulty that you're having here, Cancer, is cutting through it. You're finding it, it's almost like you're in this fog. If you look back here, these clouds here are kind of representing to me this kind of fogginess, your foggy mind kind of thing, where you can't quite see things clearly, or you're worried that this is just a temptation, that this is a temptation that is just going to, like, it's not good for you. And I also get the feeling that this is something, again, this is to do with this relationship here. And to do with this connection, this being in reverse. And just this general feeling that you kind of feel that if you get involved, you're just going to end up kind of regretting it, maybe. Where's it going to take you mentally? Where is it going to take you? Is it going to be something that's going to feed you and kind of nurture you? Or is this going to be something that's going to poison you? Because this apple always reminds me of the apple of Snow White and the Wicked Queen. Sorry, I've got itchy nose. The Wicked Queen and Snow White, who pretended to be an old lady just selling her goods, and Snow White being somebody who was very trusting and very innocent, took the apple that was offered her. And the story, as we all know, was that the apple was poisoned and it was not good for her. So there is, I feel, this fear element in February, but it is almost like, you know, you've got to face this on some level. Otherwise it's just going to keep not just repeating, but it's going to keep you mentally enslaved. That's what I feel that this is saying here. You will feel mentally enslaved to it. Whether you're actually dealing with the relationship or not, mentally you will be completely consumed by it. So that's the energy in February. And as we move into March, Cancer, you have this Four of Wands in reverse. Now, a lot of people see the Four of Wands as being a kind of celebratory card of kind of engagement or marriage. But I see it more as a challenge than anything else. Because it's upside down, it is definitely saying to me that there's a reluctance here to get on this boat. This boat is coming in. And it's like you're aware of it. You know it's there. And it could be that somebody has kind of made you an offer. And this boat represents the offer. For me, the boat represents life. It's getting on that boat, and the boat kind of taking you off on a journey. And the journey is a challenge because you don't know where it's going to take you. It could take you into stormy seas. It could take you into calmer waters. It's always a risk and a challenge involved. But you do have support. You do have people that you can turn to in this. But because it's in reverse, it's saying to me that you really don't know whether or not you want to take this up. And it's come out with the Two of Pentacles, which I don't think was in reverse. I'm sure it wasn't. The Two of Pentacles, which is all about balancing life up. And I feel that that's his kind of choice as well, in a way. Do you or don't you? It's kind of like, do I, don't I? Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And it's kind of, one day you might feel you do, the next day you might feel you don't. So there's this kind of up and down, backwards and forwards kind of energy here. And there may also be a backwards and forwards energy involved with this person as well. There may have been kind of like connections, communication, no communication. This ongoing kind of, almost like a drama in a way. And I kind of feel that it's very similar to this card here, that she kind of is the same kind of energy here. And you may also feel, Cancer, if you are the one that's doing the offering here as well, you may be kind of reluctant because you don't know what this person's going to say as well. So there could also be that scenario going on here. In March, you may be feeling reluctant to come forward because you are worried about this person, what they're going to say, whether they'll accept it, whether they won't accept it. Whether it will help balance things out or whether it will just make things worse. So there is this real kind of reluctance here to take up that challenge. Step on that boat and start a new journey, a new adventure. But you do know that something has to change. There is also that as well. It's almost like this is getting quite stagnant in a way. There's kind of a feeling of it kind of blending into the background somehow as well. Again, this kind of fogginess around it. It's like it's not clear, it's not obvious. So as we get into April, we have the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords to me is all about kind of trying to do something in a more kind of underhand fashion rather than being very upfront about it. So if this is to do with your relationship, which it may well be, you may kind of be deciding to take more of a, it's not deceitful approach, but it's an approach of kind of going through the back door, almost like you don't want to be upfront about it. And let's face it, Cancer, you crabs always move sideways. Crabs always move sideways. Have you ever seen a crab go forward? Doesn't happen. Crabs always move sideways. They test the water, they come back out. They take their time. And that's the energy that I'm getting from this here. It's about the kind of sideways movement into something. Like if you make your mind up that you're going to actually do something about this, you're not going to do it directly. It's not going to be a direct action. It's going to be something that's kind of done. Again, I don't want to say underhand and I don't want to say deceitful, because that's not what it's about. It's about kind of protecting yourself here, Cancer. With this shadow being illuminated by the moon in the background. There's kind of this feeling of things being kept underground in a way, like keeping your cards close to your chest, kind of the way that he's carrying these swords here. He knows he has to do something. He doesn't want to necessarily do it the way that he's doing it, but he knows he has to. And that may also be how you are going to approach this particular situation in April. This feeling of kind of, okay, I'll try it this way and see what happens. I'm not going to be direct about it. I'm not going to tell this person directly how I'm feeling, or direct communication, but there is going to be something that is going to kind of something where you feel that you can't stay in this situation anymore. You can't kind of avoid it. You can't ignore it. You can't pretend it's not happening. Whatever this situation is. But the Four of Air, which has come out as a reverse, is saying to me, well, I think it's kind of saying to me that what I was saying about the crab, basically. It's like, you know, you're going to go in sideways, then you're going to come back out and you're going to be doing some thinking about it. Because you are kind of reluctant with this situation as well. With this whole kind of Four of Fire, Four of Wands, this reluctance here. And the 4 astrologically represents a square as well. Squares are always a difficult energy. They're quite competitive energy. And this is a 4 as well, 4 of air. Normally the 4 of air is about kind of taking time out, meditating, kind of thinking things over. But I get the feeling as well that you may do too much of that, because it's in reverse. Maybe also that you're not seeing a situation honestly. Maybe you're not being honest with yourself here as well, Cancer. That could also be what these cards are saying, that you need to be honest with yourself and your own feelings about something and how you think about it. But I do feel that you're kind of getting ready for communication on some level. But like I say, it's not direct, it's not forward. It is very kind of almost reserved as well. When you do have any conversations, you're kind of guarded and reserved. You hold back. You're not giving much away. And that's how you're feeling in April. And as we move into May, you have the Knight of Cups. So something has kind of stirred your need, shall we say, to find somebody to give this cup to. It's like you may finally come out of this situation here, and you are, I always think of Cancerians as being this card, the kind of Knight of Cups, the very sensitive, very loving, very honourable, lots of, like, full of integrity, very gentle, very artistic, very very strong-willed as well. Very strong-willed. There is a strong will about Cancer once they've made their mind up. So this may be you, Cancer, or it may also be somebody coming towards you. It's going to be different for all Cancers out there. But it is almost like you've decided that you've had enough of this. That way up, I think it was. So, but I will say, because it's the 8 of Fire that's come out with it upside down, which is normally about communication, things kind of going easily. I always see this as a kind of easygoing card. Life is just riding along. There's no complications, there's no bumps in the road. It's like everything that you want to do just works out, kind of just smooth. Everything's just really smooth and easygoing, and you're kind of blazing a trail. But because it's in reverse, I get the feeling that this is not going to be easy for you, Cancers. Again, this could be this could be you, this could be the other person, or the other way around as well. But there is a situation here, I feel, where, again, communication, like I was saying, communication is kind of guarded or kind of reluctant or holding back. This is how you're really feeling. But the path that you're going to go down is not going to be easy. There is going to be complications. There is going to be, especially if this is somebody who you've had relationships with before. because I feel that each of these kind of glowing orbs here represents situations or represents things that you have yet to kind of deal with, things that you haven't wanted to look at and now come into light. And also this person here, kind of, they've got this fan across their face as well, almost like the only kind of part revealing themselves. And Cancers, as we know, have this shell that they can kind of retreat into, and they do retreat into when they've been very emotionally hurt. And so I feel as though you're kind of partly kind of peeking out from behind that shell. You're kind of, again, testing that water. You want to know where it's going to take you. And this is what you really want. This is what you're seeking. You are seeking somebody who's going to accept this cup that you're ready to give. And this could be a new person. This could be somebody who you have had a relationship with, Cancer. Or again, like I said, this could be somebody coming towards you. But I get the feeling that this is more your energy, Cancer. That you yourself are ready to kind of move forward. So, in June, we have the Page of Swords. And this is where I feel that it's not going to be easy. This is kind of questions. Questions. And this is what I feel this is about. These questions, these things that you're going to have to resolve. That's what I feel this is about. You need to resolve all those kind of little issues. These are all kind of emotional situations or issues that have not, like I said, been dealt with, looked at. But the Page of Swords can be very kind of, what's the word I'm looking at? It's like they can be very, thinking of the right word here. The energy of the Page of Swords can be very childlike because it's a page, so they don't always come from a point of kind of maturity or wisdom, or you know, they kind of say things sometimes that may be construed the wrong way, and they don't necessarily mean it, but they can kind of get carried away. Their energy can be quite exuberant and quite kind of mischievous as well. And this could well be you, Cancer, just being kind of mischievous and kind of playful in a way as well. It is upright, so it's a good energy, but also kind of this could be you, because you've also got this sword here as well, which is all about truth and communication. This could be you, and also the blue as well, the very kind of blue of the throat chakra here. So this could very much be you. I hate again to say testing the waters, but this could be you kind of using this energy to really kind of open up to somebody that you've kind of kept held back. It's like this has been you kind of keeping all this held back, and now this is you kind of blurting everything out very quickly, very unexpectedly, even maybe to yourself as well, because I get the feeling that this is kind of things you can no longer hold back. You can no longer keep this to yourself. This is something that you need to let out. And it's come out with the Page of Earth. Again, I see this as a very playful, innocent, young energy. And this is kind of reminds me of this card here. And it may also be that you yourself are beginning to realise that this connection is very deep. That you are connected psychically. as well as being very attracted to each other. That this goes a lot deeper. So also being the Page of Earth, it's about kind of building a future, planting seeds, kind of, yeah, something anew. There's a lot of childlike energy. I wouldn't say childish, very childlike energy here. There's a lot of very kind of almost kind of like being reborn in a way. But it is energy of kind of finding your feet again. But I feel that this is to do with your relationship. These are both to do with your relationship. But this is about grounding it more. This is about bringing it into the kind of reality, the physical realm. And this is how you're going to go about it. It's mischievous, playful. Like I said, they are both kind of mischievous and playful. Even he's got this kind of mischievous look on his face to me. But there is this kind of like, yeah, these kind of antennae. I think that's what it is. It's this kind of antennae that the two of you are going to connect on this other level all together. And it's almost like this is the moth that she's holding in her hands here. He is the moth. He is just so attracted to this that he cannot leave it. But he's going to do so, or you, Cancerian, not just he, she. Energies are energies. It is kind of, I just read whatever the cards, because for me I just find it easier. But the actual energy itself can be male or female. As I say in all my videos, we have both within us. We just need to recognise it and understand it. So this is very much for me about this kind of connection of something on a, again, even with the page as well, with the air, it kind of, you know, the kind of psychic connection is there again as well. And this may be how you kind of learn and to understand that for yourself as well, Cancer. Because this being upside down is why I feel that you are having kind of difficulty with this. But I feel that you're going to kind of overcome that and move into a place of bringing it into a reality. And in July we have the King of Pentacles. So you move from being the Page of Pentacles here into something that's much more kind of stable, much more grounded, much more secure in yourself, aware of your achievements. And this is, I feel, like a really huge achievement for you as well. It's like you feel as though you've got all the gold. You've got all the gold. It's down here. And I don't necessarily feel that this is just about money. I feel as though this is about contentment. You feel like the king of the castle. Or whatever this situation refers to, but it's come out with the Nine of Water. And the Nine of Water is literally about all your hopes and dreams and wishes coming true. And what's interesting for me here as well is if you look closely, and there's all these diamonds kind of floating around her. And this big diamond here. But all she's very kind of interested in is this key. She holds this key in her hand here. It's very tiny. don't know if you can see it very well. But this here is this key that she holds in her hand. And that to me is saying that this is the key to somebody's heart. That somebody has given you the key to their heart, or you are ready to give somebody the key to your heart. And that all the gold kind of and the diamonds, and this is all about wealth of inner emotion. That's what I get the feeling of from these two cards here. This is realizing how important your inner emotions are. And as a Cancerian, they are going to be very emotional. This could also have something to do with an earth sign. This could be you connecting with an earth sign who wants to give you everything that they have. This could be the person that you have been in a relationship with, or you have started to be in a relationship with. But I feel in July that this goes to another level entirely. The earth signs being Taurus, Capricorn and Virgo. It could relate to one of them. It could just relate to somebody who's got a lot of earth in their natal chart. But I feel very strongly that this is also about this energy here. This emotional happiness. A real strong emotional happiness here. The wishes, all your wishes coming true. Fulfillment. Kind of somebody who's really kind of... It's almost like they can't believe that this has happened. They can't believe that they've been given this key. And this could also be a key to a front door as well. But it represents more than just that. This is not just about a front door key. This is about somebody letting you into their home, letting you into their life, letting you into their heart. There's a lot of meaning behind that key. So if somebody gives you a key in July, Cancer, take it very seriously. Or if you're going to give somebody a key in July, Cancer, it is like you're giving them your heart. And you need to let them know that. And as we move into August, we have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. A visionary, somebody who holds true to a dream, which I feel is kind of related to this card here as well. That you've held true to this dream. This dream has been in your heart for a long time. And this could relate to somebody who has a lot of fire in their natal chart, a lot of fire in their character. Somebody who's quite fiery, quite dynamic, quite creative, very passionate, very beautiful, very confident in themselves, especially with it being up this way. Very, because it kind of represents the fire signs Leo very much with this card. It looks like the Leo energies are very strong here, and the Leo is all about the sun, so it is all about kind of being very sure of who you are, which either is you, Cancer, or again this is the person that you are involved with. But the message behind the Queen of Wands for me is more about the fact that she is a visionary, that she holds a dream. She has loyalty. She's very loyal to a dream as well, regardless of how long it may take her to achieve that dream. So you may come into a period of time, because this is about transformation as well. because this is the card that's come out which with this energy, which is the Death card in most tarot decks. And in her hand here, she holds this firebird, this phoenix, which is rising out of her hands, like it's rising out of the ashes. And I kind of get the feeling that there is a similarity here with this moth here. And it's almost like a realization of kind of, you realize that this person hasn't wanted to harm you, like a flame, like a moth to a flame can harm the moth, that this isn't about that. This is about light. This is about bringing in some clarity and some I'd say that this person here, whoever this represents, has very strong spiritual grounding. They're grounded very much in their spirituality. Their connection with the unknown is very, very strong. And I feel that this is kind of you here, is the moth here as well. And that there is this transformation taking place and this kind of death that's occurring here as you're kind of letting go of who you have been and all the things that you've kind of believed in and held on to, and kind of maybe also generational stories as well, things that no longer work for you. Because with the Queen of Wands, this is fantastic energy. I mean, this is just so powerful. Such powerful energy. This, for me, is kind of you really bringing this dream alive. But in order to do so, you have to kind of rebirth. You have to kind of let things go. You have to give yourself permission to become like the visionary. Like this energy here. Which I feel at the moment, Cancer, because it came out in reverse, I feel that you're scared of it somehow. As much as you're attracted to it, because you are attracted to it. There's also this element of you not quite understanding it. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. And I think maybe that's also what this is about as well. This kind of non-logical, just fogs up your mind when you try to kind of work it out. It's kind of too much temptation. Has it all been too? Is that kind of, you know, is it... is it kind of an energy that you should walk away from? Even though you find it really difficult, because this is the question here, is kind of like holding on with the Four. You don't want to let it go. You don't want to leave it behind. And so as we move into August, there is this transformation taking place here. There is this change, this kind of inner change. Inner acceptance as well, maybe. I feel that this person has your best at heart. The Queen of Wands. And as you get into September, Cancer, we find you feeling nostalgic. Feeling like there's this energy of melancholy, looking back on the past. It's the Six of Cups. And it could have something to do with, because it's come out with the Ten of Earth here, and the Ten of Earth is very much about completion, it's about satisfaction, it's about kind of feeling satisfied within a home, family situation. And it could be that this card here is making you feel nostalgic and kind of melancholy for all those things that you have missed while you and this person, Six of Cups, very much about the twin flame, soulmate energy, again, came out in January. And again, with this Four of Earth, whoops, sorry, that wasn't meant to happen. Oh dear, oh dear, try to avert a major disaster now. Let's just hook that over there, push that round there. Nope, it doesn't want to know. Sorry about this, Cancer. I will get it sorted and normal as possible. We'll resume. There we go. It's probably not where it was, but it will have to do. So yeah, the Ten of Earth, I feel, is you now being kind of, although sometimes I get the feeling that she's kind of looking, because it's a 10, it is an ending as well, and she kind of feels as though she's looking, as though she's wanting, like, what's next with the 10s. There's kind of this feeling of like, you know it's a completion, you know it's come to kind of its full circle. So it's like, what happens now? And that could have something to do with this card here as well, this kind of melancholy and nostalgia, and kind of trying to work out where's it going next, and all that you've missed by not being with this person, and all those kind of years that you could have had together. There could also be a sense of that as well. But that's not to say that you're not content and not happy, because I think you are content and happy, but it is a kind of a completion of a cycle. The Ten of Earth, it's kind of starts again. So maybe there's also a need here for you to kind of just digest this and just really kind of just sit in it. Just sit in that energy and just really kind of maybe just be very grateful for it, very kind of gratitude of it. And just kind of really I also get the feeling as well, again, these kind of antennae that are coming out here as well. Like realising that there's something much more to all of it than just the physical realm. There could also be a kind of sense of growing within this as well, that the physical realm is great, but it doesn't feed everything you need. It doesn't give you, it doesn't feed your soul in the same way, shall we say, as it feeds your physical needs. And so as you move into October, we have the Eight of Cups, which is kind of following on maybe from the Six of Cups as well. This energy of like upside down nostalgia, this kind of feeling that won't kind of leave you alone. Melancholy, this kind of looking back at things. And this could find you going deeper down into your emotions and your feelings and your kind of, maybe even, because it's an 8 here as well, maybe even kind of really having to work through those issues that you kind of didn't take any notice of previously. And you may find them coming back up to the surface. These kind of, like I was saying, these issues that you kind of don't maybe want to acknowledge within yourself. Because it has come out with the Five of Water. And the Five of Water to me is the kind of, it's my woe me card. It's like despair, despondency, everything's really bad, can't see a way out of this. So you may find yourself, Cancer, kind of feeling in this place of going down into the depths of your emotions, because that's what the Eight of Cups says here. It's not just about walking away from these cups and then kind of just like, you know, leaving it behind and everything's okay. This is much more about you actually delving deep down to actually kind of come to terms with your feelings and your emotions and the things that you've kind of not really acknowledged in the past. And again, this could be generational. This could be patterns. This could be looking at family history. This is you asking yourself, why is this keep occurring? Because I get the feeling that you don't want it to occur again. You don't want this to... Nobody really wants this energy to keep coming back in their life. Nobody wants to keep having to walk away from something that emotionally they thought was going to satisfy them. And then they find themselves in that place again. But until we really kind of go down into the depths of our emotions, and until we really kind of take a grip of it and really look at our past and look at our present and look at our family history as well, where has it kind of come from originally? What is the pattern here? Because there's nearly always a pattern when it comes to our emotions, because we learn from our parents who learn from their parents who learn from their parents, and it goes way back. According to the ancient Chinese, it goes back 7 generations. So if you let go of a emotion, a pattern, a habit, something that you keep doing knowingly or unknowingly, if you can let it go, if you can release that, which is what this is about, then you release it 7 generations from your past and 7 generations into your future, because you're not putting it into the future generations that are yet to come. And this for me is kind of also the reason why we keep replaying the same worldwide story as well, because we just keep telling each other the same thing over and over again. So this is about you kind of really trying to break free from this, I feel. This kind of despair, this despondency, this really kind of, like I say, like, you know, hand on the head and kind of desperation. This feeling of despair, desperation, really kind of sinking down, that's what I'm getting, sinking down into your emotions, Cancer, that you don't necessarily want to deal with. Kind of, yeah, just... But when you do so, in November, we have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork. It's about somebody recognizing your value and your worth and saying, we want to work with you because we know that you are what's the word I'm thinking of here? We know that you are worthy. Yeah. We know you're worthy. We know your worth. We know your value. We can see your value. Even if you can't see your value, we can see your value. So I feel that in November, Cancer, there's going to be a situation where other people are going to boost you, where you may not, because of this situation here, you may be feeling that you are less than, shall we say, not worthy. But this situation here is saying to me that people are going to rally round and support you. People are going to feed you, in the sense of, like, I always think of this kind of, like, again, the greenery and the very kind of fertile all the vines growing up, these pillars here, and all the green in the background, and it's all very lush and very verdant and fecund, and just very, well, it's all very green, so it's all also very related to the heart chakra as well, and nature. But that's the energy that I get there for you. And what's come out, Cancer, with this card, which is fantastic, is the Six of Fire, which talks about a victory, the Six of Wands. It's about you rising above. So here, where you're kind of sinking down and down and down into the depths of despair and your emotional kind of history and baggage, and kind of really, I just get the feeling that you may even want to get some kind of professional help with this, or somebody who really knows how to deal with releasing emotions, because there is a way of doing this, and that maybe it's something that's going to be called for. And maybe that's also what this talking about here, is this person who's kind of, you know, there to help you and support you. But this, I feel, is you rising up out of that situation. The Six of Wands is victory. This is you releasing. I see all these little balloons here. This is you releasing all that baggage. This is it, like, finally, you're going, oh, finally, I can fly again. I can kind of rise above everything again. It's kind of like you floating on the ground, shall we speak. You know, like, almost like your feet aren't touching the ground anymore. There's just this real sense of buoyancy and kind of uplifting and just kind of pleasure, victory, knowing other people value you as well, I think is going to be part of this. But just finally, I just feel finally you really do kind of rise above all this emotional. And Cancers, let's face it, you are incredibly emotional people, and you do carry around a lot of emotional baggage. You take on other people's emotional baggage as well as carrying your own. So you do really weigh yourselves down, and that's what I get from this energy here, is this is just weighing you down. And this is just bringing you back up again. This is you rising up above it all. And this is November. In December, we have the energy of the Hermit, which is in reverse. So it's kind of saying to me that after all of that, after that kind of feeling of being above the world and really kind of letting everything go, you may feel like you need to go back into your kind of shell for a bit, because it's almost like it's too much. It's almost like it's too full on. The energy is too full on. It's almost like everywhere you go, there's this kind of real, I don't know, just this real kind of recognition, victory, and kind of just this sense of life being really positive for you. And overcoming things as well. And another thing that I get from this as well is you're overcoming situations that have dragged you down in the past, Cancer. But this Hermit card for me is saying that you may feel by December that you need to kind of hide yourself away again. Or you may end up in a situation where you're having to do that because it's in reverse. You may not want to necessarily actually do it. But this is you asking yourself some really big questions as we end 2020 and move into 2021. And the card that it's come out with, which I absolutely love because you got it earlier again as well. So this has come out twice. And it came out earlier with this card here. So this is big energy, both times. This is in September. Is it September? Hang about. No, June, July, August, sorry. This is the energy for August. And it's the Queen of Wands there. And you have the Queen of Wands here again. And this time I feel, with this Hermit energy that she's come out with, that this is very much about you finding the very kind of heart of your desires, your purpose, your real, it's kind of really getting to the crux of the reason for why you're here. This is big questions you're asking yourself. What is my purpose? Why did I come here? What am I doing? What am I seeking? What am I looking for? What am I wanting? And the Queen of Fire is kind of like, if you look here, she's got this candle, but it's kind of lighting up her heart at the same time. And as I was saying, this kind of energy of like loyalty and visionary, like a real visionary. And that's what I get from this card here, is this kind of visionary energy. It's kind of really connecting to your heart in a way that you may not have ever done so before, but in a much wider scale as well, Cancer. Much wider. And this is all taking place, again, kind of moth-like as well. The moth to the flame. Again, yeah, sorry, just kind of realised this. It's kind of just hit me. The kind of like chrysalis stage here of kind of going into the... And also with this transformation card and the death card that came out here. With this Queen, it's almost like the unveiling is almost ready, but not quite yet. So yeah, the moth to the flame, again, I feel that this is very important. This is about somebody who you are very connected to, Cancer. This whole reading, I feel, is about Cancerians' connections with somebody who's very important to them. Somebody who they feel they have a really strong connection with, because this is that kind of moth here. And that's what this energy is for me here. Like I say, in this chrysalis stage, is kind of hiding yourself away again in your shell. But you're doing it this time in the sense of really looking inward, to kind of discover what's at the heart, what's at your heart. And I feel that this card is kind of this moth. She's kind of, sorry, not that card, wrong card. She's kind of holding it really gently in her hands. Almost like she's holding your heart very gently in her hands. Like she knows that you're going through this transformation. And that that's okay. But for you, I think it's in reverse, because you are the one that's been kind of resisting it. You're the one that's kind of been finding it difficult to cope with. But by the time we get round to December, I feel that you are going to be more open-hearted about it all. Again, you're feeling like you can trust, you can be loyal, you can understand on a different level here where this other person's coming from as well, and why they have been who they are. Because I get the feeling with this as well, that there's this kind of, with this person, there's this energy of, because it's the Four of Earth, you don't want to let this energy go. You don't want to let this go, but also this is about somebody not wanting to let themselves go. Like they don't, yeah, like... Sorry about that, my stomach. That they don't want to kind of change who they are in order to fit into your kind of world, if you like. Because they can't. They're just being who they are. It's completely who they are. It's natural to them. It's who they are. They can't. To be anything else is to be a lie, is to go against themselves. And they can't do that. And I think by December you're kind of realising and going through a very similar kind of transformation here as well. And connecting on a much deeper level, Cancer. So those are the messages I've got for you today, Cancer. I hope they have been of some help to you. If you know of anybody else who you think this might help, any other Cancerians, Sun, Moon, Venus or Rising, please feel free to share it with them, pass on the message. Also, could you like up my video if you have managed to get all the way to the end of it and you do also think that it's worthy of sharing or being liked. If you like it, it means that it gets out into the kind of bigger world of YouTube, and I am really trying to build up my channel at the moment as well. So please also could you subscribe and tap the bell. Subscription's really important because I really do want to build up my channel, and it would really help me if you did so. And also tapping the bell kind of lets you know when a new video has come out. I have got other videos on my channel as well that you may be interested in, particularly if you're interested in astrology as well, because I do new moon and full moon videos, and I also do, they're for the collective, and I also do when there's a major kind of astrological event going on as well. I like to look at the energies that are happening in the world as well, so you may want to check them out too. And I'm just going to say I'm wishing you all the best in 2020, Cancer. I hope it all goes well for you, and hopefully I will see you back again soon. Take care. Thank you.